Greetings, it's Reverend Ahmondra, and today we are continuing with our series, Women in Transition, the Flight Plan for Life. So today I'm going to be sharing with you step 2 and step 3 on the flight plan for life. So step 2 in the flight plan for life is to get crystal clear on your present location. Where are you at right now? You know, when we jump in our cars and we type in our destination, it will say, is your starting point here or is your starting point someplace else? Where are you starting from? For some of us, identifying our present location can be painful because a lot of times we are in situations that are so hurtful, so harmful, we don't really want to go through and pull out everything and really look at it. But you have to. You have to know what your present location is, either in your finances, in your health, in your relationships with your children, with your friends, with your spouse, with your boyfriend. You have to understand where you are. When you understand where you are, you will begin to understand why it is you failed in the past, because the same pattern will begin to show up. When I was using the flight plan for life to transition out of my marriage, the first thing I had to do was to identify where I wanted to go. And I identified that as step 1. I wanted to be free. I wanted to reclaim the essence of who I was. The second thing I had to do, which is step 2, is identify exactly where I was. I had no idea of what it took for me to get a divorce. So the first thing I did is I had to go to a divorce lawyer. The divorce lawyer helped me look at exactly where I was in my life. At that time, I owned my own childcare business, and it was in the home. So when I got a divorce, I would sell the house. That meant the business would close. That meant I wouldn't have any income. He helped me to understand exactly where I was. I could not step forward into divorce because my financial situation was so bad. But I knew where I was, and that helped me because now I could understand what were some of the things that I could begin to do to create a better financial situation for myself so that I could begin to move forward in these divorce proceedings. So you have to know what your present location is before you begin your trip. Step 3 in the flight plan for life is preparation. I call it the pre-flight checklist. Did you know that before a pilot gets in his seat to take off on a plane, the pilot walks all around the plane and inspects it? The reason I know this is because I was sitting on a flight one day getting ready to take off, and I looked outside and saw the pilot, and it's like, oh, why is he outside? What is he looking for? And after the flight, I actually went up to him and said, I saw you outside walking around. What were you looking for? And he said, I am responsible for this entire plane, what happens on the inside and what happens on the outside. So before we take off, we do a pre-flight checklist. We walk around and we do a visual inspection to see if there's anything that we see it's a myth. And if it is, we correct it. When I decided that I wanted to return to college after being out for 10 years, I actually went to the college, pulled my old records to see what it is I needed to do before I could enroll. And all the classes that I had just left, just walked out in my 20s, those grades had reverted to F. And I was told in order for them to be removed from my record, I had to actually go and talk to the professor. Blessings for me, they were still on campus, and I was able to go and sit down and talk to them and explain to them exactly what was going on in my life. That I was in a situation of deep grief, financial turmoil, and I felt all alone. After explaining my situation to these professors, they changed those grades on my record, and I was able to go and enroll. My question to you is, what do you have to check off your pre-flight checklist? You have a destination, you know where you are, but what is it that you need to take care of to prepare yourself for your journey? As I was preparing for my divorce, my pre-flight checklist included getting resources for the parents of the children who were in my child care. So I went around the neighborhood and I got resources for them in case they wanted to move their child from my center to another center. I also started improving my own mental attitude. I stopped putting my husband first and started putting myself first. I started building the faith in my God that I would be able to move forward. Your pre flight checklist is going to look different depending on where you are and depending on what your journey is going to look like. But it is important that you begin preparation. What is it that you have to begin to do? Look around your life. You'll know what it is. So today in our flight plan for life, we looked at step 2. Where are you at right now? What does your present location look like? And step 3, what is it that you have to prepare to do? What does your pre-flight checklist look like? Thank you for joining me. I'm excited because we've gone through step 1, step 2, step 3, and we are going to be moving into step 4 and 5. If you haven't picked up a copy of my book, please do. I want you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't and pass this video on to other sisters. There are many individuals out there who would love to have a strategic plan on how to move from where they are to where they want to go. And it costs you nothing to do. Please pick up a copy of the journal so that every day you can appreciate yourself and come back next week so that we can continue this conversation with the flight plan for life. I am committed that each and every one of us move forward in the direction of our dreams. Take all of that energy that we've been giving to others and bring it back and use it for ourselves. There is no reason as Black women we can't be successful in whatever it is we choose to do. Come plan with me and live a life that you love. Let's